Imagine this. You're 8 years old, sitting at the kitchen table on a quiet evening. Your parents look down and ask the question every kid dreads. What do you want to be when you grow up? One day you say, astronaut. The next, artist. Maybe inventor or explorer after that. But then the world leaned in close and whispered the same quiet command. Pick one. Master it. Become the specialist. Doctors, lawyers, engineers. Clear paths, deep expertise. The kind that looks so disciplined on paper. And you tried. You really tried. You picked a lane, studied hard, and even got pretty good at it. But deep down, something kept pulling you sideways. A new book, a strange hobby, an idea from another field that suddenly felt more alive than anything else. You felt it as a quiet kind of failure, like your brain was broken, like you lacked the willpower everyone else seemed to have. The specialists around you were climbing ladders while you wandered between them, collecting scraps of knowledge that never quite fit into one neat resume. And now, with AI everywhere, writing code, diagnosing scans, drafting reports, you keep hearing the same old story on repeat. Specialists are doomed. Their narrow expertise is exactly what machines can copy faster and cheaper. So the pain cuts even deeper. If even the most focused people are at risk, what chance does someone like you have? But right here, the story quietly flips. You are not broken. You are simply different, in a way the world is only now beginning to value. AI will indeed kill the pure specialist, the one whose entire identity lives inside a single narrow silo. But not you, because your mind was never wired for that silo in the first place. It was wired for range. And in the age of intelligent machines, that range is becoming the rarest and most deeply human advantage we have left. Let me explain it the way a good friend might whisper to you in a late-night conversation. Imagine your attention like a camera. The specialist has a powerful zoom lens, laser-focused, incredible resolution on one tiny patch of reality. They see every detail in their field, but nothing beyond it. Your camera? It has a wide-angle lens, maybe even a 360-degree radar. It takes in the entire landscape at once. It notices how the light from one hill reflects onto another. It catches patterns that only appear when you step back. Neuroscience has a name for this difference: cognitive flexibility. Deep in your prefrontal cortex, certain neurons act like traffic directors for your thoughts. They let you drop one rule and pick up a new one without getting stuck. Researchers have watched these cells fire in real time during experiments, and the people who switch the fastest are the ones who've spent their lives sampling many fields instead of drilling into just one. It's not laziness, it's wiring. Your brain stays plastic, neuroplasticity, that remarkable ability to rewire itself over decades, precisely because you keep feeding it new contexts. Every time you wander into a fresh interest, you're literally building new neural pathways that a lifelong specialist never needed. There's another quiet mechanism at work, something psychologists have studied for decades: latent inhibition. Most brains learn to ignore the everyday noise, background sounds, random ideas, irrelevant details, so we can stay focused. It's efficient. But in highly creative people, that filter is a little looser. A 2003 Harvard study following high-achieving students found that those with lower latent inhibition, who let more stimuli through, tended to produce more original work. They weren't distracted, they were connecting dots the rest of us never even saw. If that sounds familiar, then that looser filter might be why you've always felt scattered. At the same time, it's why your mind can do something AI still struggles with. It can surprise itself. It can take a concept from ancient philosophy, a trick from street photography, and a line of code, then suddenly see a new way to solve a business problem no one else is even asking yet. Why would evolution give some of us this restless radar instead of a clean zoom lens? It's simple survival math. For most of human history, we were generalist foragers in unpredictable landscapes. One season the berries dried up, the next, a new predator appeared. The humans who survived weren't the ones perfect at a single skill. They were the ones who could spot a new plant, improvise a tool, read the sky differently, and teach the group what they learned. Specialists in the wild, creatures locked into one narrow niche, often died when their niche changed. Generalists adapted. Your brain still carries that ancient strategy. That's why curiosity feels like a pull, not a choice. Dopamine, that tiny chemical messenger of reward, lights up brighter for you when something novel appears. It's not attention deficit, it's attention designed for a world that never stood still. But as we fast forward to today, society flipped the script. The industrial age loved cogs, specialists who could repeat one motion perfectly. Schools sorted us early. Careers rewarded the resume that screamed depth. Parents, worried about security, pushed the single-path story. So if you felt like the odd one out, constantly restarting, chasing side projects that never paid off in the traditional sense, it wasn't because you failed the system. The system was built for a world of predictable, repeatable problems. AI is now the ultimate specialist. It can master millions of narrow tasks overnight, diagnose better than some radiologists, code faster than junior programmers, analyze data with superhuman patience. The pure specialist, whose value was, "I know this one thing better than anyone," is watching their moat dry up. But you? Your radar was never about knowing one thing better. It was about understanding how things speak to each other. That's the edge AI can't replicate yet, because machines still lack the messy, embodied, cross-domain intuition that comes from living many lives within one lifetime. So what does this mean for how you actually live? Stop apologizing for your range. Reframe it as your operating system. Start treating your varied interests as deliberate sampling rather than distraction. Keep a simple note. Every time you feel that pull towards something new, ask yourself, what pattern is this teaching me that my old knowledge doesn't have? Then consciously cross-pollinate. Take a metaphor from one field and test it in another. That's how real breakthroughs happen, not from drilling deeper, but from connecting better. Become what some now call a deep generalist. Choose one or two domains you genuinely love and go deep enough to speak their language fluently, but never let them become prisons. Use AI as your tireless research assistant, not your replacement. Let it handle the narrow, tedious work while you focus on the irreplaceable human arts. Asking the right new questions, sensing what people truly feel, and weaving ideas into stories that move us. And finally, protect your neuroplasticity the way athletes protect their bodies. Learn something completely unrelated every season. Travel with your mind even if you can't travel physically. Talk to people whose worlds look nothing like yours. Mirror neurons, those fascinating cells that fire when we watch others act, light up when we truly listen across differences. That empathy, that ability to step into another person's perspective, is pure human bandwidth. AI can simulate conversation. It cannot yet feel the weight of a stranger's hope or fear the way you can. And when the noise of disruption finally settles, what remains is a quiet philosophical truth. The universe has always rewarded the mind that dances between stars rather than orbits a single one. AI may master the notes, but it will never compose the symphony of meaning. You are not obsolete. You are the living bridge between what was and what could be. The polymath soul that evolution preserved for moments exactly like this. Breathe. The restlessness you once felt wasn't a flaw. It was preparation. In a world suddenly filled with perfect specialists, the most valuable thing left is the one thing only you can offer. A mind that refuses to stay in one lane because it remembers we were never meant to. You're not late. You're right on time. The age of the specialist is ending. The age of the human integrator, the one who sees the whole picture, is just beginning. And you? You were built for this all along.